Today, Senator Mitch McConnell survived a challenge that may mean a lot more than just that he'll remain the Senate Minority Leader. Republican senators gave him the vote of confidence by an overwhelming 37-10 vote. But the reason this is potentially so significant is that Donald Trump had supported Florida Senator Rick Scott for the position, and he got trounced by McConnell today. It started during a closed-door luncheon yesterday, which the power players of the GOP gathered to dissect exactly what went wrong on election night. According to reports, it was here that a heated exchange took place between Scott and McConnell. Rick Scott, who had been the Senate re-election chair for the GOP, tried to put the blame on McConnell, arguing the party needed a clearer message to voters and announced his bid to replace McConnell as Senate Republican leader. Scott released a statement that actually echoed what McConnell has been saying for many months, that, quote, we must start saying that what we are for, not just what we are against. But numerous National Republican Senatorial Committee staffers apparently called out Scott, at least privately. Spoke to Business Insider under the condition of anonymity, one of them saying, quote, Senator Scott will go down as one of the worst campaign chairmen in recent history, and that he should, quote, focus on his home state and leave the national political arena to the grown-ups. Now, most Republicans and Democrats alike attribute the results of the midterms, at least in large part, to the radical right-wing election deniers that the former president handpicked for Republican nominations across the country, a point that Mitch McConnell echoed yesterday.
It's pretty obvious, and all of you have been writing about it, what happened. We underperformed among independents and moderates because their impression of many of the people in our party in leadership roles is that they're involved in chaos, negativity, excessive attacks, and it frightened independent and moderate Republican voters. But as a result of our own, the perception many of them had that we were not dealing with issues in a responsible way, and that we were spending too much time on negativity and attacks and chaos, they were frightened. And so they pulled back.
But of course, Donald Trump blamed McConnell for the setbacks, posting to social media it's Mitch McConnell's fault, spending money to defeat great Republican candidates instead of backing Blake Masters and others was a big mistake. Giving $4 trillion to the radical left for the Green New Deal, not infrastructure, was an even bigger mistake. He blew the midterms, and everyone despises him and his otherwise lovely wife, Coco Chow. The Coco Chow part is a reference to Mitch McConnell's wife, Elaine Chao, who served in Donald Trump's cabinet as transportation secretary. To his credit, McConnell was gracious about the challenge from within his party.
At first, I don't own this job. Anybody who wants to run for it can feel free to do so. And so I'm not in any way offended by having an opponent or having a few votes in opposition.
But McConnell's overwhelming win may say something more about the direction of the party and its support or lack thereof for a presidential candidate who formally announced his run last night. Joining us now is Jon Gilmore, who most recently served as the first deputy chief of staff to Arkansas's Republican governor, Asa Hutchinson. Thanks very much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. So how much do you think that this vote for McConnell against Scott, despite Trump specifically saying he supports Scott, tells us about the direction of the Republican Party moving forward?
Well, I think it tells us a lot, Dan. Thanks for having me tonight. Look, Senator McConnell won overwhelmingly from his colleagues, and that just goes to speak that the senators who represent the American people recognize the fact that Mitch McConnell is going to continue to push forward Republican principles. And while Donald Trump is throwing a fit and using antics that would be likened to a junior high, school president race, and name calling, including Mr. McConnell's wife, which is just absolutely inappropriate, uncalled for. I just think it shows that the Republican Party is starting to move on. And it's important for us as a party to move on and look for new leadership, especially when it comes to the presidential level.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.